Okay, I'm being nagged into doing this talkie by Mr. History, but perhaps I should do it. It's basically a warning about using instrumental transcommunication, which is a Ouija board, spirit boxes, spirit apps. The cat's on me. Spirit apps, anything like that. EVPs, which record using any instruments to contact the dead, basically, or record the voices of the dead. Years ago, I used a Ouija board, and something came through, but it was someone who was supposed to have lived in this property, which did check out, actually. It did check out. And that made me believe for sure that there was something after this life. So my interest in the paranormal gathered, let's say. It kind of carried on. Anyway, I left it alone for a while, but then I kind of got clean from drugs, and I needed something to do to keep me occupied. Biggest mistake. So I bought a spirit box. PSB7. What that is a modified radio that uses white noise to pick up voices that we can't normally hear. And I used it for long periods of time. I sat there listening to recordings, editing for hours, listening to the ch. And I realised through doing the spirit apps and spirit box that I had some kind of attachment, or I didn't realise it was an attachment as such, although I did call it attachment. But I realised that I had this spirit that came through every time, and he wasn't too friendly. I said, "What's your name?" and he said, "Alex." And he hated it when I laughed. Every time I laughed, he hissed. So he's quite a hateful spirit. He came through and he kept calling me whore. And there were other spirits around that referred to him by name, calling him Al, saying, "Oh, Al times it," meaning he times the regularity of when he said whore. Apparently he timed it. Oh, the cat. Cat, what are you doing? I'm trying to do a talkie. Stop licking my face. Oh, this is awkward. The cat's right over the phone. Why have they got to be on everything that you do? Now it's over my face. Right. So anyway, fast forward a little bit, and I got a warning. And this was not via the spirit box, it was EVP. It was a Class A, what's classed as a Class A EVP. Basically, there was no background sound. It was just him speaking into the air, saying, "You've got 2 days." So, I'm like, oh, what does that mean then? 2 days? What, am I going to die or something? But then I got reassured by other spirits and other situation that wasn't the case. Because I heard, not many people will believe this, but my future grandson, and he said, "You hold me," in a really nice sing-song voice. Because they kept referring to this orb that I kept filming, saying, and I said, "Who's that orb?" And they said, "Baby." So I figured out in the end that it was my grandson that was in utero. So I thought, well, I'm not going to die then. But 2 days later, well, actually 1 morning later, my bed started vibrating. And, but I didn't really think much of it because I was kind of used to paranormal things. So, and I'd had a few sexual dreams where I felt like things were really happening, which I kind of went along with, which I shouldn't have. And the next morning, I was vibrating. It got in through my genitals, and basically my body was vibrating. And after that, all hell broke loose. It was a bit of a buzz, to be honest, at first, because I was into the paranormal, and I was thinking, well, this is a really unusual situation. Not many people can say they've got a spirit inside their body. He didn't talk straight away, but he did move my body around. He moved my head, moved my legs, quite drastically as well. Kind of being thrown around the place. But after a couple of months, he started to dialogue by moving my head to spell out things. Oh, cat. Yeah. But anyway, then it wasn't long before he started speaking into my mind. Things got a bit more not so fun. And I got driven into a psychosis, basically, on 3 separate occasions. I basically lost my mind. I didn't think I could. I was like, you're never going to take my mind, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. Basically, he done all of the above, took my mind, and I ended up psychosis in a mental ward. But the last psychosis, I just knew that I wouldn't go into another one. It progressed. The possession has kind of progressed to something even worse. It's like, during the day, like my mind is just totally blanked out now. I can't read like I used to. I can't write like I used to. I can't do anything. I feel virtually bedridden. I've been going to church to try and get free, to get prayer, to get free, but nothing's happening. But I'm smoking though, so that could be getting in the way. I can't not smoke. It's too stressful. But every day is the same at the moment. It's like an ongoing depression. And my legs have gone really weak. Like before, I could stand up for ages and just, like other people, do normal things. Now I can't even do normal things. I can't stand up for long without my legs feeling really shaky and weak, and my back and my body feeling really weak. So I'm laying down most days. Like, I come downstairs and I lay down on the mattress that I put on the floor, which could have been a bit of a mistake. And I just can't get comfortable. I can't get into watching programs that I used to watch. Like, I seem to have to watch religious stuff. It's the only thing that kind of soothes me a little bit. Thinking that, right, I need to get God. Oh, I don't really know how to explain it. But I used to watch paranormal programs. Obviously, like, I'm going to be a bit put off some of that now, but I can't seem to get into doing anything. Like, I come down and the day is just endless. And my sleep pattern, eating, I've gone off eating, gone off drinking hot drinks. I'm addicted to these cold lattes. And that's the only thing I can seem to consume. My appetite is going down. My sleep is non-existent. And I bought some sleepers off someone, some strong sleepers. And before, when I had one, it knocked me out. Now I'm having 3 a night. And it's barely having any effect. And it's not like a normal sleep. It's just like a cut-off point where my mind just cuts off. And it's not a nice drifting off to sleep kind of feeling. I mean, I know the stories I've seen of people being possessed. They're not exactly very encouraging. It never really ends well. And then those people have got priests around them. No way is a priest going to believe me. I went to priests at the beginning. I was manifesting heavily. Like, when I went into the church, I was bent over double. And I was speaking in tongues. But the priest still treated me like it was a mental illness. So there's no help of priests these days. Not when you've got an addict background. No way. So that's the beginning. That's the recap of it all. Don't know what else to say. I'll leave it at that for a minute.